We're seeing Bitcoin getting punished in this session as a Russian invasion of Ukraine pushes investors out of risk assets. Looking at where the price is moving right now, Bitcoin below that $38,000 handle. Over in Russia, lawmakers have now given Putin the green light to use force outside of the country. President Biden, meanwhile, expected to announce additional sanctions against Russia in a speech later this afternoon that has now been moved up to 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's bring in Emily Parker, CoinDesk Global Macro Editor and Anchor. Emily, let's first talk about the price moves here. Is this just kind of similar to what we're seeing play out in the equity space, essentially investors running to safe havens, moving out of risk assets like Bitcoin?
That definitely appears to be the case. We're seeing a sea of red across the crypto market. It definitely does not appear as if Bitcoin is acting as a safe haven from global instability. In fact, it's acting more like a risky asset. And, it does undermine, at least over the short term, the narrative of Bitcoin as digital gold, because Bitcoin is acting quite differently from actual gold, which recently hit an 8-month high. So Bitcoin is not acting as a safe haven, at least right now.
Hey, Emily, it's Brian Chung here. An interesting wrinkle to the central bank digital currency argument here, because some talk now about Russia maybe getting a little bit more of a political argument to create a digital ruble because it could be a way to get around sanctions. Explain a little bit more.
Yeah, this is a really interesting geopolitical element to this story. So the Bank of Russia is already moving ahead with a digital ruble. They're already moving into the pilot phase of that. But a couple of years ago, they said explicitly that a digital ruble would be a way to hedge against U.S. sanctions. And now that the West is readying sanctions, this is becoming actually quite relevant. Both Russia and China have complained about U.S. dollar hegemony, and that clearly is at least part of the calculation for developing a central bank digital currency that decreases dependence on the U.S. dollar-based financial system.
Meanwhile, we've seen Russia moving forward with regulating cryptocurrencies. And as you highlight, Emily, this is kind of a reverse of what we've seen from other countries, which have gone as far as to ban cryptocurrencies in places like China. What does that ultimately mean? I mean, today we're talking about the military action, obviously the broader geopolitical story, but specifically on crypto. How quickly is this likely to move?
Yeah, so the Russia crypto situation has been a little bit confusing because there's clearly a bit of a conflict within Russia. The Bank of Russia has actually suggested that they wanted to ban crypto trade entirely, but that's not what's happening. Instead, Russia is moving towards regulating crypto, although crypto payments are prohibited. So, for now, crypto trade is legal to some extent within Russia. One of the reasons why the Russian government has been nervous about crypto is because it has been used to finance the Russian opposition. Russian opposition has very publicly taken crypto donations. So that's one thing. But now, at least for now, crypto is alive in Russia. The question is, will crypto serve as a safe haven within Russia itself, perhaps as citizens of Russia are looking for a hedge against the ruble? Who knows?